So I'm doing my first bodybuilding competition in 9 weeks. I'm 9 weeks out, and I'm doing it as a natural on an untested show. So I'm so nervous. Like, I already think it's hard to deal with the amount of weight that I'm losing on this prep, but then the idea that potentially other amateurs might have some supplementary perks is very scary. I tend to be quite goals and results oriented, but this process of, like, the fact that I'm actually going to compete in an untested show has really forced me to, like, reconsider how I keep myself motivated. Of course, I want my results to be the absolute best they can be. I'm gonna try to win, but in my day-to-day execution of the training and so on, that's not relevant to how much effort I put in. So I think, like, naturally we all have automatic cost-benefit analysis running in the back of our minds, where we're always looking at the amount of pain and suffering that we're going through, and then we're measuring it against the potential payoff of whatever goal or results we have in mind that should come as a result of that pain and suffering. And my dog's pulling around a bit. There's so many variables outside of my control, whether I'll win or not, that I really can't justify my daily pain and effort based on the idea that I'll win the show, right? The only thing I can base my effort on is reaching the goal of doing my absolute best every single day. Like, that's the only thing that's left for me to go on, and it's been quite freeing because I don't have to waste any more time or energy considering, like, is it worth starving today? Is it worth doing this heavy leg day? I don't have to compare it to, will it be worth it at the end when I get this goal or reach my goal, because I'm already reaching my goal if I'm doing my best. And if I'm feeling that pain, then I know that I'm pushing towards my limit. And that is also the reason I love bodybuilding, and especially natural bodybuilding, because in the end of the day, you're pushing yourself to the limit and you're doing your best regardless of the outcome. And then however you end up in the end, that's how you ended up in the end. But I think I'm really falling in love with the process. Of course, I'm saying this without ever having done a show, so who knows, maybe I get there and I feel like all this pain and suffering wasn't worth it, or I do it and I feel like, actually, you know what, it's the end, it's the final results that matter. We'll see, but my intuition tells me that the process is the most important, and if you can find joy in it, then it becomes effortless. You're not really thinking about it, you're just doing your best every single day, which applies to everything. But this realization and feeling is quite nice to have, because for the longest time I've been trying to reconciliate the fact that I love bodybuilding, but I feel quite alienated from the part of the community that's fully results driven. So it's not necessarily that gear and drugs and those sort of things are the issue. It's that there's many people whose opinion is like, you're willing to do anything to win that show, even if that means cutting down your lifespan with 10 years by doing some experimental drugs, or like even like PEDs. Now people are saying, oh, they don't even have any negative consequences, or who knows, but they're willing to take the risk of finding that out because it's worth it, because they'll have their results, and they can say in the end of the day they did everything possible to get results. And like, I get the feeling of wanting to get absolute best results and doing whatever it takes, as in doing your best, but somehow I feel completely that's what's confusing, because how can I identify with that but also feel like I want no part in that? I want to do natural bodybuilding, like I'm determined to only do that. And I think then at the end of the day, yes, do your absolute best, but I don't think the final result is everything. I think that's perhaps the differentiator there. And so I've come to a conclusion that I love the process more than I love the results. And for me, the process of being a natural bodybuilder is more enjoyable because I think it's harder. Like, I might not be having a really hard time later on. I'm not like pushing my suffering to the future and saying, okay, I can do 2 workouts every single day, I'll feel great and hyped up, my muscles will grow 3 times as fast today, and then I'll suffer later. I'd rather say I'll suffer more today for less results. And it's not even so that I don't have to suffer later, it's just that to me that's even more of that idea of pushing yourself to your limit and doing your absolute best at any given moment, right? So the fact that it doesn't give as quick results, the fact that it is harder, the fact that you have to consider, perhaps you don't have to consider more things. I mean, of course, there's so many dangers with drugs as well that many people become like full-on pharmacists from all the stuff they need to know. My point is just that I love the process, and I think that's something I've seen in other natural bodybuilders that I follow. They all seem to have this mindset that they really like the process, and they take pride in how their day is set up and how they keep refining it and building it for not just the results, right? So it's not just I'm gonna optimize my everyday for the next 10 years so that I can win the Olympia or something like that. It's like, I'm gonna do this all my life. There's nothing stopping me. And I'm just refining my blueprint every single day, and I get better and better. And I always find ways to maximize myself. And it doesn't matter if I'm doing a show, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is I'm doing better. Yeah, now I'm just yapping, but I don't know. Important to think about. I'm very curious what other aspiring natural bodybuilders like myself or natural bodybuilders out there think about these sort of things. Like, in general, there's less content in terms of like working out programs and diets and stuff that are specifically tagged natural bodybuilding. So the process looks quite different if you're on gear versus a natural for peak week or cutting, maybe even bulking. So I feel like it would be very helpful to have more of that information, and it's specifically targeting natural bodybuilders. And even more importantly, or something I feel would be valuable, is to just be able to see the thoughts and reflections of other people that have a similar mindset. I find it quite hard to find those people, and so I thought, if I'm not the only one who thinks like this, maybe posting this video will make some other person feel less alone in their thoughts. Maybe they can relate. Maybe my conclusions can help you reach your own, And hopefully, if you're between deciding whether you're gonna go the natural or the enhanced path, and you're a bit confused about that, maybe this adds one more perspective that can help you make the right choice for you. Hope that brings some value. Bye.